Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of our 10-day English learning challenge. I'm Jennifer, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to focus on one of the most important aspects of learning English: listening comprehension. Being a good listener is key to understanding and communicating effectively. And what better way to improve our listening skills than with a captivating story? Listening comprehension helps you catch the nuances of a language, the way words are pronounced, the tone used, and the flow of conversation. Today, I'll share a slightly more challenging story. After the story, I'll ask you some questions to see how well you understood it. But don't worry, I'll guide you through everything. Remember, the more you practice, the better you'll get. So, let's get started. Today's story is called The Hidden Garden. It's a beautiful tale about curiosity, discovery, and the unexpected surprises that life can bring. I want you to listen carefully, not just to the words, but also to how the characters feel and react. Try to imagine the scenes as I describe them. Ready? Let's dive into the story. Story: The Hidden Garden. It was a warm summer morning in a small village. Emma, a young girl with bright eyes and an endless curiosity, was walking along a path she hadn't explored before. She loved discovering new places and had heard rumors about a hidden garden that no one could find. The thought of it excited her, and she was determined to see if the rumors were true. As Emma walked, she noticed a narrow path partially hidden by tall grass. It looked different from the rest of the path, almost as if it was trying to stay secret. Her heart beating faster with anticipation, she decided to follow it. The path was winding and seemed to lead deeper into the forest. Birds chirped overhead, and the sun filtered through the leaves, creating dancing shadows on the ground. After walking for a few minutes, Emma stumbled upon an old, rusty gate covered in vines. She felt a sense of mystery in the air. Could this be the entrance to the hidden garden? She pushed the gate, and it creaked open, revealing a sight that took her breath away. Behind the gate was the most beautiful garden Emma had ever seen. Flowers of every color bloomed everywhere, filling the air with sweet fragrances. There were tall trees with golden leaves, a small pond with crystal clear water, and butterflies fluttering around. In the center of the garden stood an ancient oak tree, its branches stretching out like protective arms. Emma walked into the garden, feeling like she had stepped into a different world. She explored the garden, touching the petals of flowers, feeling the soft grass under her feet, and listening to the gentle rustle of leaves. She felt a deep sense of peace and happiness, as if the garden was welcoming her. As she wandered, she noticed a stone bench under the oak tree. On the bench was an old book. Curiosity sparked. She picked up the book and opened it. The pages were filled with beautiful handwriting and illustrations of the garden. It was a diary, and the entries were about the garden's creation, its magic, and how it had been a secret place for those who sought solace and inspiration. Emma sat on the bench, reading the diary. She learned that the garden had been created by a woman named Lila many years ago. Lila loved nature and had planted the garden as a place where she could escape the world and find peace. She had written about how the garden was hidden on purpose, only to be found by those who truly needed its magic. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the garden. Emma knew she had to leave, but she felt grateful for finding such a magical place. She put the diary back on the bench, hoping that someone else who needed it would find it one day. As she walked back to the gate, she turned around to take one last look at the garden. She smiled, knowing that she had discovered something special, a hidden treasure that would stay with her forever. Wow, wasn't that a beautiful story? The hidden garden reminds us of the wonders we can find when we're curious and open to exploring the unknown. Now, let's see how well you were listening. I have some questions about the story to test your comprehension. Try to answer them on your own first, and then I'll go over the answers with you. Ready? Here we go. Where did Emma find the hidden garden? What did Emma discover in the garden that provided her with information about its history? Who created the garden, and why? What emotions did Emma feel when she was in the garden? Why do you think the garden was kept hidden, and who was it meant for? Let's go through the answers together. Emma found the hidden garden by following a narrow path that was hidden by tall grass. The path led her to an old rusty gate covered in vines, which opened into the garden. In the garden, Emma discovered an old book, which turned out to be a diary. This diary contained information about the garden's creation and its purpose. The garden was created by a woman named Lila. She loved nature and planted the garden as a place where she could escape from the world and find peace. While in the garden, Emma felt peace, happiness, and a deep sense of connection with nature. She felt welcomed and inspired by the garden's beauty. The garden was kept hidden to be a special, magical place for those who needed solace and inspiration. It was meant to be a refuge for people like Emma, who were curious and in search of peace. Great job if you got those right. And even if you didn't, don't worry. Listening comprehension is a skill that improves with practice, just like any other. The important thing is to keep listening, keep trying, and most importantly, enjoy the stories you hear. Now that we've explored our story and tested our understanding, let's talk about some tips to improve your listening skills. Listen actively. When you're listening, try to focus entirely on the speaker or the audio. Avoid distractions, and pay attention to the words, tone, and emotions expressed. Take notes. As you listen, jot down key points, new vocabulary, or any questions that come to mind. This will help you retain information better. Repeat and review. Listen to the same audio or story multiple times. Each time, you'll notice different details and understand more. Practice with different accents. English is spoken in various accents around the world. Try listening to different accents to improve your overall comprehension. Ask questions. After listening, ask yourself questions about what you heard. This helps reinforce your understanding and recall of the story. Use visuals. Whenever possible, use visuals to support your listening. Watching videos with subtitles or reading along with a transcript can help you follow along and understand better. Remember, the goal of listening practice is not just to hear words but to understand their meaning, context, and emotion. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. For today's challenge, I want you to find a short story or a podcast episode in English and listen to it. Try to use the tips we discussed. Listen actively, take notes, and review the content. Afterward, write a brief summary of what you heard and share it in the comments below. I can't wait to see what you discover. That's it for day 3 of our 10-day English learning challenge. You've done an amazing job sharpening your listening skills today. Keep practicing, and don't forget that listening is a powerful tool in learning any language. I'll see you tomorrow for day 4, where we'll dive into another fun and educational story. Until then, keep exploring and stay curious. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications of our new videos. Also, comment for more videos like this, and check out the video on the end screen. Thanks for watching.